Hi, good morning. Very warm welcome to you all. It's very rare that I do any kind of selections on a Sunday, but today is an exception. The exception being that my son's football match has been cancelled, and also Miss Walton's rugby match has been cancelled. But the match that is on today is the 240 at Kempton. Okay, my selection is BOUDOIR, beaten favourite last time out, trained by Richard Hannon, ridden by Dane O'Neill. She comes into the race back of a decent run in a similar type of race at over course and distance. Okay, I do feel that my selection can be beaten, but the underlying factor, the strong factor that I had in opposing her was this horse here, who is a non-runner. But still, I still feel that she can be beaten. Let's have a look at the price of her on Betfair. 183, 186. When I started to do my little write-up of her this morning, she was priced around 176. At first glance, you think, well, yes, respectable form, finish a close second, not beaten far last time out, so what can beat her? Well, I think this horse here has a good chance of beating her, but more than anything else, I think the ground, the trip, and the fact that I don't feel all is right with this filly. Okay, let's move on to let me take you to the owner's website. Okay, here you will see a photograph or picture of my selection in 2010. Then on the gallops, you see her there. Obviously there are all-weather gallops there, but the most important thing to note out here is the fact that she is supporting blinkers there. Now, I am quite confident that apart from the connections, apart from the people who work in the stable, I am quite confident that 99% of the form analysts would not have picked this up today. They would not have bothered going onto the website and picking up this point. Okay, most horses that support bandages don't support them because of decorative accessories like Pat Butcher's earrings in EastEnders. They're there for a purpose. In Pat Butcher's case, they're there to so that people can identify her more easily, so she doesn't get lost in the crowd. But in this case, the reasoning I feel is that this horse has suspect tendons. I've looked through the other horses in the ownership of the same people, and not many of them support these bandages. Now, you could be right in thinking that they're there just for a precautionary measure. Had there been a problem, she would have supported the bandage in the races. Well, to a certain extent I do agree with you, but let me counteract that by putting my case forward, and that being that in her races she becomes unsettled. Horses become unsettled, they start pulling. Sometimes we don't really look into the reason, but my own train of thought is that she becomes unsettled on the fast ground, that she does have problems with her tendons, and she would be better on softer ground, on a more galloping track. And I think the soft ground makes her, how can I put it, makes her unsettled. Okay, she has had 2 runs, as I said to you before, on the all-weather, and she runs as though she would be better suited by soft ground, and more of a test. Okay, what I'd like to do is just take you to this picture here of a sire. Now, forgive me for saying this, but you know, that does not look like an attractive horse to me. But more importantly, let's look at the sire's race record. Okay, look at that. Soft, 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 soft. Mile, mile, mile. Okay, the sire did win over 5 and 6, but never 7. But all the wins of the sire are on soft ground. Okay, if we just look at the pedigree as well, there is a big influence of French bloodline in this horse. French, 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 and French, and then you have Italian. That is on the downside, so to me that is a negative as well. On the sire side, again, not so much French, but more US and Canada side. Okay, let's just click off that for 1 minute and go back there. Now, I've underlined the main factor. I do feel she has tendencies, tendon problem. What I basically wanted to kind of prove to you today, I could be wrong, this is just an assumption, that horses, connections do lay their own horses. Okay, and in my little piece that I did for my private, the people who I deal with on a private terms, I put this: we must keep in mind that she was beaten by a first-time starter when she was priced at 5-2. The underlying factor, right, I've gone through that with you on there, right. My selection is priced at 176. Could it be that inside knowledge of the fact that my selection may have tendon problems which are aggravated by fast ground could see my selection drift out to 226? If so, this will be proof that connections do lay their horses. Now, when I say connections, I don't mean just the owners. I mean stable staff, people connected to the stables, probably aware of this situation. Already you can see, you know, a drift from 176 to 187, which I think will continue throughout the day as we get nearer. Now, I'm not saying there's any wrongdoing or anything like that, but this is a very tough game. You know, there's so many things that punters have to battle with. Integrity of trainers, jockeys, stable, connections, owners, you know, I mean, just let me give you an example here. I'm not, Richard Hannon doesn't have to go through all that rigmarole because he is a very well established trainer. But other trainers really don't have a choice because of the poor prize money. I mean, you know, it's ridiculous. Let me just give you an example here of change of tactics. Here, you know, race 3 led clear with 3 others, so she made all the running that day. In this race, you know, settled in midfield, effort on inner 2 furlong, closing. So that's you know, change of tactics, which we don't have no control of. Okay, most people will tell you that laying is easy. Believe me, it's not. It's not laying. I mean, the value in the race, I really do feel, is this flying kitty. I don't want to bore you too much today, but just let me explain to you. When I say a horse is value, why do I say it? I mean, she ran there over 8 furlongs, over a mile, and prominent until weakened quickly over 2 furlong out. least she was prominent there. She was there, and she weakened. So what does that tell you? That maybe this distance of a mile was too much for her. The other thing to note, that she's run over shorter distances, kept on. You will see the words kept on, always weakened. She is a late fall. There you can see she's a May fall, so maybe she just needed a bit of time to develop, to mature. Okay, that will do for me for today. As always, goes without saying that please do exercise caution. I wish that I'd put my selection out to you a bit earlier, but I think it's only fair that the people who are working with me at this present time get the first call, bite of the cherry, so to speak. Okay, that's it till tomorrow. I wish you all luck, and once again, thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you do take notice of what I say. Maybe sometimes it might not make sense to you, but believe me, whatever I say, it makes a lot of sense to me. Thank you very much for your time, and bye for now.